with the headline, they announced 4 new EX augments. I mean, they showed off all of them if you actually went through the headline enough. And, you know, shout out to Kagarisu for posting these. Super helpful. Leave a link in the video description to the original post in case you want to go ahead and follow them. They actually seem to post a lot of really useful NGS content. So if you want to keep up with stuff and you're not a big fan of checking out videos or whatever, you can always get your information via Twitter. So cool. There are 4 new overall EX augments we're going to go through real quick. So let's talk about them. So we've got EX turnover H. I mean, of course, the H part isn't super important. That's just the suffix. But EX turnover, it looks like this one is actually going to push damage over the usual threshold. The threshold you're looking at in most cases is going to be 4.5. And that's kind of like the medium. Usually if it falls below that, there's something that's going to push it over it, or if it's above that, it's just a weird way of working. So usually you're looking at 4.5, but either way, so it's 4.5 and 2% potency floor. So nothing is really getting too much, nothing's really changing up too much there. So what does this one actually do? And potency plus 1.5% for 20 seconds when you recover HP. Now, this one's kind of interesting because if you're at max HP, you can't recover HP, technically speaking, right? However, there are effects that still have you recover HP based on certain things that are happening. So it's going to depend on whether or not those effects still proc when you just recover HP naturally. So like, let's say, for example, you're at max HP and you have something that's going to give you more HP. Like if you step counter, like one of the other EX augments we're going to talk about, does that actually work? We don't know. We're going to have to see. We'll figure it out. EX evade HP gain. So this is what I was just talking about. So you recover 1% of max HP when you successfully negate an attack with sidestep or weapon action. That's going to be interesting. So again, does this work with this here? Does it work with turnover? Can you proc the actual increased damage bonus with turnover, even though you don't actively regain any HP? Again, something we'll have to test, because in the past with other effects that work based on the use of a specific item or a specific mechanic or whatever, they allowed them to still work technically, right? So for example, if you look back at something like, not nameless, Lucille, during the day that you would press your heal for a buff, normally you can't press a rest assign whenever you're at max HP, but specifically during that buff day in Lucille, you can and still gain your buff. So is it going to work similar to that, since we know there are mechanics like that already exist in the game? Who knows? We'll have to figure that out. But if it does, this could be a really good combination. I could see working really, really well together. Bring down PB boost. So this is going to give us potency increase versus downed enemies. It starts 10 seconds after being equipped. So here's the interesting thing. You can't just hot swap to it immediately and then deal damage when the target's down and then hot swap back. This only works after being equipped for at least 10 seconds. Now, it's not bad since it's 4.5%, meaning that at a worst case scenario, you can slap this on something else and still get decent damage off of it, right? Because you're able to not lose out. Like, it's basically the utility slot, essentially. This isn't one of those conditionals where you go below 4.5%. If you're at 4.5%, that means anything bonus that you're getting from this is totally okay. You're just choosing what utility you actually want. But in this specific situation, this might make this one of the best third options you can have for an EX augment, seeing as you get an extra 2% just flat whenever the target's down. And that's when you usually do your most damage. They probably did something like this primarily to make it so you didn't have to make a full extra weapon for downs. I do like this because it does mean that you can legitimately just slap this as a third augment on most things. Like, for example, I would probably go ahead and put this on over my Endure Pain PB boost, just because it is giving me some PB gauge gain, like 6% when enemies are down nearby. So that's pretty nice. But it also is giving me increased damage on a down target. That means this is going to be more useful during boss fights. So we'll have to see how the damage actually works out. Again, it's 4.5%, which is very, very nice. That means you're not going to really lose out on any damage by using this. It's not like, oh, hey, this is 4%, but when the target's down, it's an extra plus 2%, which makes it like, it comes out to being a little over 6%. It's weird how the math works out. But it's something like, you know, hysterical strength, where it's going to be lower whenever it's not proc, but it's higher when it is proc. So we do like to see these. It's actually pretty interesting in that situation, though. I'm sure there are plenty of people who are like, oh, I was going to make a down weapon, that way I could swap to it, use it when the target's down, and then swap over. Technically, you can still sort of do that. You just have to have some, like, what's what I'm looking for, some forethought in that situation. Depending on the fight, Endure Pain PB might be more, but it's redundant if you're not going to be popping PB as soon as it's up. Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those situations where it depends on how often you're getting downs, how much damage those downs are going to be for you. And like, while getting your PB faster is nice, this is still also going to help you get your PB faster. So if you get your PB slightly slower, but you're also gaining more damage on downs, it might actually end up overall being a better choice, especially when you have a weapon whose downs aren't as powerful, or whose PBs aren't as powerful. You may opt to go this route. So pretty interesting to see. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we have maintain balance. Maintain balance is very interesting. So it's 4.5% potency floor 2%, of course, plus HP because the H. So take 10% of your HP as damage when you land an attack while your HP is at or higher than 50%. You recover 1% of your HP or whatever your max HP when you land an attack while your HP is at or lower than 48% on a 0.5 second cooldown. What does that mean? So as long as you're above 50% HP, you cut your HP down to effectively, well, so what ends up happening is it effectively balances your HP out at 49%. And 49% is perfect for something like shortage HP, meaning that this is essentially going to allow you to do minimum or low HP build setups. I won't say like minimum HP or low HP. Basically, it's going to allow you to do something with the fact that your HP will be lower. Now, you can look at this from a couple of different perspectives, right? Now, the nice thing about shortage HP beforehand was that it's 4.5% regardless of how you look at it. So it's, you know, it's conditional. However, its condition, even while not active, is still as good as most things while it is active. So this, along with shortage HP, you can actually put something else with it, which would be even more interesting. EX turnover. So EX turnover is going to give you a damage buff whenever you are below, or sorry, whenever you regain HP at all. And that happens as long as it's once every 20 seconds. Kind of spicy. Kind of spicy. We'll have to see how that works out. Now, this is going to also help you maintain your HP. It's going to be kind of like a heal over time. So that's going to be nice, but it's not going to push you over 50%. And we have so much HP and so much damage resistance. It's not really going to be an issue to help maintain that HP pool for shortage HP. Now, beforehand, I played with it like this. I would just take a hit. I also removed the heal, the increased heal on my rest assigns. So if my HP got really low, if I popped a rest assign, I would still stay below 50%, which it was really difficult to maintain this, but with maintained balance, it's going to be really, really powerful. So you'll start to see these pop up. I'm getting the feeling that maintain, shortage HP, and EX turnover might be kind of wild together. The only situation I can foresee being a little difficult, well, no, because then you could just pop a heal and it would heal you above, which then maintain balance would push you below. So yeah, no, this could be really, really powerful actually. Is maintain balance with 30 HP back below 50%. You just have to keep in mind that if you haven't healed in the last 20 seconds, you need to pop a heal to make sure that you're maintaining that extra buff to increase your overall damage. That's kind of wild. Maintain balance, shortage HP, and turnover might be really, really good all together. Doesn't maintain heal. You can still heal. That's the thing, is if your HP is below 50%, you can heal. And then when turnover, or when you're above 50%, maintain balance is going to chunk you back down below and then, you know, balance you back out again. These are proccing 0.1 and 0.5 seconds. This is a pretty quick freaking heal, man. We'll have to see how it really works out overall at the end of the day. But like, that's not a short time. That's pretty fast. I'm getting the feeling that these might actually be really, really powerful together. Now, granted, there's probably other combinations you can think of that I'm not thinking of here. You can even see some people right now, risky, turnover, evade, HP is a little too obvious. Risky, I don't know why you would use risky in that situation. Turnover and evade HP, well, I guess risky to push your HP down, but I would just go maintain balance, man. I would literally go maintain balance. Maintain balance sounds kind of goated. I guess risky is if you like really don't want to deal with, if you don't want to deal with low HP, right? It's if you really don't want to deal with maintain balance and be at 50% HP. But again, I'm sitting at 1300 HP right now. That means that at half, I'm around 700 HP. That's still a lot of HP. Most things only hit me for like 400 damage. So unless I'm getting double tapped, which I don't always get double tapped, but it does happen from time to time, I really feel like we're going to be in a very comfortable position. Not to mention that if you really just don't want to go with the extra damage, there's plenty of stuff that will give you damage reduction based on you taking damage, right? There's patient defense and so on and so forth. You can set up quite a tanky setup while getting extra damage too. Oh, and shortage HP is also 30% damage resistance. That's true. I completely forgot about that. So yeah, you could be pretty freaking tanky with all of this. It's interesting. What do you guys think? What are you guys theorizing in the comments? I'm curious. I'm actually really curious to read what you guys are going to be thinking about this video. Which all I had to say about it. I want to show these 4 off, give my ideas or my thoughts on them. In case anyone's curious or concerned, right? Like, oh God, 4 new EX Augments. It's actually not a problem now that we have EX Augments on our weapons. From what I understand, there's only going to be 3 EX Augments per weapon still. That means that you're just going to be replacing the EX Augments on your weapons, not having to create an entirely new weapon. So if you go over to the EX Augment transfer option, as long as there are EX Augments on the weapon you're going to, it'll simply replace the EX Augments without you having to re-augment your entire weapon. Do not worry. Stay tuned. For the next video, we'll be talking about the new weapon that is on the horizon and whether or not it's going to be a problem for us and how it could actually not be too big of a deal. Fingers crossed. Either way, that's all I have to say for you guys today. Let me know if there's anything I missed in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed, so if you want to keep up with more, as always, thanks to channel members. You guys are fantastic and I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, my friends. Peace out.